And you're in the Netherlands. Which city do you teach from?
Well, I'm based then in Kampen. I was originally trained in the conservatoire as a classical mezzo-soprano, and I have been teaching with a lot of pleasure because I like it very much. For the last 15 years, I think, in my private studio,
Mhm.
and I teach both classical but also a bit of CCM and musical. Part of my clients are hobby singers, um, as I said, in different genres. Um, I also work quite a bit with choir singers who sing in, also hobby choir singers who sing in chamber choirs in the area. And then lately, some professionals came to me. Usually, they are professionals skilled in some other musical area, like instrumentalists or choir leaders who want to learn more about their voice. I've also started to work with some professional speakers, people like teachers or church professionals like pastors, people who need their voices in their everyday work.
Neat.
That's a
So,
really interesting group of people that you work with.
Mm.
And you still perform, don't you?
yes, I do. Different things. I sing in a professional choir. It's a women's choir, I should say. We only started this choir actually during the pandemic because everybody was like, we want to do something. And since professional choirs were allowed to practice, we started up something here in the region. So that's really nice. And every once in a while, I also sing oratorio repertoire, like the Matthäus Passion, for instance, like the alto parts. But I must say that I prefer the little bit smaller, like the smaller concerts where you are very close to the audience and you have some time to speak with them, tell them something about what you're singing, to really make contact with them.
That's really interesting. So I'm getting very much a theme of rapport. We're connecting with each other, both as teachers and as helpers and guides, and also with the audience.
I think that would be fair to say, because it also makes me feel more at ease if I can make a rapport with someone.
Now, you're in our Teacher Accreditation Programme, and I'm curious to know, why did you come on it?
I mean, how did you find us
did you
to
find
begin
us?
with?
Well, actually, I think I'm a good example that marketing actually works. Because it is true. Because first I found your website. I think it was because I bought Gillian's books, Singing and the Actor. I found your website. I subscribed to the newsletter, and I found, because Jeremy, you're usually the one, I think, who writes them, the newsletters. I really liked your style. It was like there was good info in there, but also a lot of funny stuff or humor every once in a while, and it made me chuckle. So somehow I got connected there, and then the pandemic came, and I found out that you had podcasts. And actually, it was through the podcast that I started listening to. Just when I was in vacation, my children were bouncing on the trampoline, and I was there with my in-ears listening to your podcast. And I was like, yes, this is the kind of info I'm looking for. It's in depth, and it's also very with a curious mind. And that's basically what set me off to find more about you, and to see if I could do some kind of training with you guys.
It's so interesting, and that's such an unusual route as well.
But I also love the idea that the kids were bouncing on the trampoline, and Mum was sitting there.
I was literally under a tree.
Yeah, fantastic. Because it was a fantastic summer that year too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Summer of 2020.
Yeah, and I was also looking for a new way to get some boost into my singing teaching, because I had been doing a less for some time, and I wanted to, improve my skills. So that's basically how I ended up here at VP.
So you did the online singing teacher training week 1 would be the first one that you did.
Yes, actually, that's the first thing. Yeah.
And you stayed and did some more, and you
weeks 2 and
stayed
3.
and did some more.
Yeah.
And then you took the step of doing the 12-month course. And is it okay that if we mention that you were actually funded to take this training, weren't you?
Yes, actually, I was going to also mention that, because the Fonds of Cultuurparticipatie in Holland made this possible for me, because otherwise it would have been very hard, to be honest. So I was very happy that my funding got rewarded, and I was able to do the accreditation with you guys. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and actually it makes us feel good as well that more than one person has been funded to do this course, because it kind of validates what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
When we're not actually in an academic setting.
Yeah.
You know,
I think because I did the previous courses, I was able to explain very well what you guys were about. I also added some good photographs, like this is what we have been doing. So maybe that helped. Probably.
Okay, well, we'll be coming to you next time someone's looking for funding.
Actually, somebody came, not from VP, but like, well, how did you do that? And can I see your, you know, stuff like that.
What effects so far is doing the accreditation program having on you and also on your students? I mean, how are your students getting on with it?
I can only talk for myself, of course. I can't talk for my students, but I should say that one of the main reasons that I came to you or ended up at VP was not only because of the depth of information that you guys have, but also the safe space, the safe learning space that is offered. And that was so fundamental for me, because I, you know, have been looking around here and there, but since I have quite an imposter in the house that needs a lot of feeling safety before I can actually learn, open up and learn. That was also the thing that triggered me, because it's very obvious the way that you have organized this training, where we have like a training in group with 15, 16 teachers at the same time. By the way, the international aspect, I really love that too. I really love it. It's just the idea that we are all somewhere in this world. Somebody is, you know, in the morning still going like this, oh, I just got awake. And the other one's like, can I please go to bed? And we're all doing the same thing at the same time. I really love that. The group trainings, the body sessions, and then the mentoring sessions that we have one-on-ones. I really think all of those ingredients boost the, is that a good word? Well, have boosted the learning experience for me.
That's very interesting. It kind of raises the level. And with the buddy sessions, what you do, just so that anyone who's watching this later understands, you partner with someone for 3 months and you have certain tasks that you need to do and things that you need to discuss. So you get together, and this, for me, you know, the word that's used a lot is collegial sharing. You're sharing with each other.
Definitely.
And it creates a very important level of openness. Plus, you have something to share with someone else and the other way around. And, you know, because we're all bringing something to the course.
Yes, and I think that increases the learning so much, because all of that adds, and then, you know, the whole thing becomes even more. I've written some stuff down about this, about how my teaching, I think, has improved. I think I'm more aware of my own preferences and biases. So when somebody comes in, maybe before I would have thought, oh, this goes like this, and this could be a good song for the person, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm more aware of, okay, that's what I like, that's my taste. But now somebody comes in and he wants maybe something completely different. So I try to be more open, and I think I can do that now. My confidence is building, so I don't have to hold on so much to what I know or what my area is, and I can just open up more. I think I do a better and maybe quicker diagnose, because I understand much more now of the physiology of the voice. And at the same time, I think I'm exploring more before actually making the diagnosis. Before, I was a bit afraid of exploring, actually, because I felt I'm the teacher. I should know everything up front. I can't simply say, I have no idea, let's try this or let's try that. And I'm learning now that it is okay to say that and to give different options and simply look which one would be the best one, or which one works or which one doesn't. So more exploring, and as you always say, Jeremy, don't immediately go to the fix. And I think I'm getting that more and more, that I'm like, okay, let's see how this is developing, and then try to really understand what is the problem before thinking of what could be the solution.
Now we call that the investigation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Better awareness of learning styles. I really want to know more about that, because I'm only at the beginning, but I've even started to make drawings, and I'm a really bad drawer. But I have this white board in my studio, and I usually never used it, but now I've begun to draw things to make things more clear for the visual learners.
Oh, that's great.
And, well, you haven't seen the drawings yet. I mean, but anyway, if they understand it, that's okay.
Right.
And I think my imposter is almost going out the door, and he's not hiding somewhere in the emergency exit to come back. But I think he's actually on his way to the threshold to sort of go out and don't come back, at least in my teaching, because I mean, there are still some other areas in my life where he comes in every once in a while, but I really think I've made progress in that department. Yes.
Amazing.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
What would you say to anyone thinking about doing a course with us?
Oh dear. Whew. What would I say? I would, of course, recommend it if the person was open enough to learn with other people and not afraid to maybe be wrong or new completely or learn completely new things. So some kind of curiosity and open mind, I think the person should have.
I think that's a lovely point. I don't need you to say any more, actually.
Okay.
I think the whole thing of curiosity, this is one of the things that we really love, is when people are curious. The moment you have curiosity, you go, well, there may be other things out there. I wonder what they are.
Yeah. And it's okay to be wrong, whatever that means. And it's okay to not know. And if you're coming from that place, and which really takes us to curiosity, then...
And it's okay to ask questions.
Yes.
I am so happy that I'm finally, and this is really... I'm finally at a place where I can ask questions, because that's how I learn. I don't know, that's how I learn. And when you guys don't say, well, we'll do that next time, or no, this is not what we're dealing with right now, it's not in this chapter. So, I mean, for curious people who really want to know more, they ask questions. And it's great that you take the time and the effort to really find the answers, or to say, I don't know yet. We'll have to look into that, but I'll come back to you.
That's really nice. And for us, I know, because of the, the online platform that we have, you always have the chance to ask that question. And sometimes it's a learning process for us too.
Can I just say, Franka, you ask amazing questions.
You do.
You ask questions that actually make us think. And go, where are we clear on that, and where aren't we clear on that, and can we go away and look that up and work out an answer that's going to make sense to that question?
Yeah. And Franka does something else that I really like, and I think probably it's how it works for me in my brain, which is when you've got the answer, you like to reframe it in your words, so you say it in your own words.
Yeah.
And whenever we do that for ourselves, then I think it stays better in the brain. We sort of own it.
Because then I'm absolutely sure that I understand it.
Yeah.
If I can say it into my own words, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how people can find you. So you're saying you're working with a lot of avocational singers, we say the hobby singers, and the choir singers to improve their voices, but also some people who want to communicate better with their speaking voices.
Yeah. And
you're open to different genres. So how can people find you?
Well, I have a website, which is, how do you say it? www, and then Franka van Essen.nl. Just plain and simple like that. And there's lots of stuff that you can find out there. And also you can email me through the website. It's the easiest way to ask for more information or stuff like that.
Great.
Thank you very much, Franka.
Wonderful.
That's been great.
Okay.